Hello everybody, welcome back to Latina Med Life. So glad to have you here. Today I'm going to be answering your guys' questions about what a paramedical examiner is, the setting that we work in, some of the tests that we conduct, and some of the materials that you may need if you decide to go down this route, and some of the materials that are provided to you by your company. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alrighty guys, so what is a paramedical examiner? This is easy. A paramedical examiner is simply a medical professional who conducts a series of medical exams for somebody who is applying to insurance. Now, that brings me to my next point. The setting that we work in is typically on the road, and this is because you may go to an applicant's house, you may go to an applicant's workplace, you may be at the clinic in which you actually work, but you have people going into the clinic if it's a little bit easier for them. Typically for paramedical examiners though, we are on the road. Okay, third, so what are some of the exams that we do? This is the fun part. The exams vary. Of course, you know, we're dealing with a lot of like patient information, patient data, things like that, social security numbers, phone numbers, addresses, you know, so again, you are basically going out there and conducting a series of medical tests. And one of those tests can be a paramedical exam. So you basically, and we call these parameds. These parameds are examinations which include, you know, the medical history of the patient, the physical data, so this includes blood pressure, pulse, weight, height, measurements of the chest, sometimes measurements of the waist, sometimes measurements of the hips. It all depends, each insurance is different. But these tests can also include drawing blood, and this can be for HIV testing. They just want to rule out that this person doesn't have HIV. Sometimes it's to look at other things. If a person has an underlying medical condition such as high blood pressure or diabetes, you know, they look at these things. And so I would be the person that goes out into the field, collects the specimens, blood, urine, of course, those blood pressures and all those other readings, the height, the weight, and then I report that back to the lab, and so on and so forth. Now, this brings me to my other point. The materials that you will need for this job, if you're considering it, first is going to be a printer. And this is because you will receive your work order, right? And this work order tells you where to go, what kind of tests you're doing, who the lab supplier is, so on and so forth. And you will need to scan all of those documents back to your main office, right? So I can also do a day in the life video where I walk you guys through the process so that you can see what it looks like, because I am on the road. I do come back home, I do spin blood, and I do pour off the serum and I send it to the lab. Now, I will say, again, going back to that point, scanner is super important. You need this, you can't work this job without it, because all those documents that you obtain from the patient, HIV consent forms, things like that, you upload it to the portal, and then, you know, you have a record of it there. The second thing that you absolutely do need for this job is a car, which also includes car insurance. And this is because you are on the road, right? Again, you might meet somebody at their workplace, you might meet somebody at their house, but a car is a complete necessity. It's a must. And lastly, you will need a stethoscope. And I recommend getting your own stethoscope. I say this because your company might give you one, but they typically tend to be low quality, and it's a little hard to hear the cough sound. So this is my stethoscope here. It's very beautiful. Oh, I got it when I graduated from CNA school. You guys can see it's a Littman, and it's got a really beautiful chrome finish. So that's that. But one of the cool and neat things about working as a paramedical examiner are all the different tests you get to do, right? So I'm taking the blood pressure, I'm obtaining the urine specimens, and each lab is different. So I have here a lab kit, and it does have my company's information on it. So I'm just going to show you guys the back of this lab kit, because the front has it printed all over. But it really doesn't matter because I'm not allowed to even open these until I get to the patient's home. But what is included in these lab kits are a lab slip in which I obtain information, right? All of the physical measurements and things like that, blood pressure, pulse. I am also given, and again, I have this kind of backwards, but this is a bag of all the materials that I'm given. So I'm given like alcohol wipes, and these should be given to you by your company, of course. I have my needles, all different gauges. This one is a 22 gauge. They do give me, and they will give you guys also some tubes to, hopefully you know your order of draw, all crazy, to collect your blood. For specific situations, you may also need a butterfly. And so these are all things that I keep in my backpack, which is actually in my car right now. And this is just one little baggie of stuff. But of course, if you guys are phlebotomists, then you know you need your little tube holder, you need your gauze. And so again, my company information is written on the front of this, so I'm just going to show you guys the back, which is probably hard for you to see, but it's just a bag full of tube holders and stuff. There's that. And like I said, there's different lab kits, so you know, you might go, and then I'll just cover this one, but this is another type of lab kit, and they all, insurances are different. Some may ask for certain things, some may ask for different things, and so you have to make sure that you have the right kit. There's also other labs that will check blood for, you know, cancer research and things like that. So sometimes I might do a specialty draw, and they send all of that stuff to the patient, and it's there in their home, and then I just go in there and I have them sign the consent forms, and I draw their blood, and then I send it off to the lab. So a lot of what I do is going to FedEx, of course. After I get home and I spin the blood, I will pack it off, put a label on there, and then I will close everything out for the day. But I think a good video that would be a follow-up to this would be a day in my life, because there really is a system to the madness. The day before, I'm sending out confirmation emails. I'm also making sure that I am reaching out to my office if there's anything that I need, if there was an appointment cancellation. The day before, I'm making sure that I print out my work order, that I print out everything that the patient needs for you know, our little exam. I'm also telling them, hey, stay hydrated, guys. I'm gonna be coming and collecting urine specimens, things like that. It's a lot of fun. I don't think I showed you guys like the tourniquet. Oh, also, the company will also give you like these little like booties, and this is in case you go into a home of somebody who, you know, is maybe religious or you know, different cultures, right? Some people don't like shoes in the house, and so they give you things like this. And I can show you guys like what's in my backpack, because I have my sharps container, and then I can also show you guys my centrifuge. But I'll save that for another video, just because this is a little something for people who wanted to just know what a paramedical examiner is and what I do. And basically my CPT-1 license, I am a certified phlebotomy technician, but with my license, I can apply to different job roles. So paramedical examiner is a specific job role, but anybody who is a phlebotomy technician can work as a paramedical examiner. Of course, you may need some other licenses and certifications and things like that, depending on like your state and stuff, but I do have that CNA experience under my belt, and so I think that also really helped me to get this job and secure basically secure my job. But yeah, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will definitely come out with a video about my routine, or how I go about the day, and then I can actually show you guys a little bit more of what I do. But that's just a rundown, and I hope that gives you guys a little bit of insight as to what a paramedical examiner is. I'll see you in the next one.